Can you dance with a triceratops? Take a trilobite out to dinner? I didn't think so. So you might say you really can't talk to a fossil. Well, I think you're wrong. Hi, I'm Tony Rose. I'm a retired nurse and environmental activist. We're here today as part of Staten Island Museum's Earth Day How-To Fest. And the reason is to salute a creature that was already here when the dinosaurs arrived. Horseshoe crabs are old. They're older than the dinosaur. Life has been on the planet for about 4 billion years. Now, 99.5% of it disappeared halfway back in a mass extinction about 2 billion years ago. Stop, reboot, start over again. Dinosaurs appeared about 200 million years in the past and were wiped out by a meteor strike in the Yucatan about 66 million years ago. Now, horseshoe crabs were already old when the dinosaurs arrived, having come on the scene about 400 million years ago. And they're still here today. By comparison, modern hominids, you and me, are late to the game. We've only been around a few 100,000 years. Paleologically, a wink of an eye. There are a number of reasons we find these critters interesting. They occupy an important ecological niche. Horseshoe crabs bury their eggs on the beach after mating. As each female digs a hole to bury her eggs, she churns up eggs deposited by previous couplings. These eggs provide food for seabirds, fish, and migratory avian populations. Declining numbers of horseshoe crabs threaten the very existence of a bird species known as the red knot. The red knots travel from deep in South America to breed in the Canadian Arctic's brief but intense summer. The story was highlighted a dozen years ago in an episode of PBS's Nature. Crash, A Tale of Two Species. DVDs of the show are still available on eBay. In an evolutionary handshake, the red knots and the crabs simultaneously arrive at the shores of Chesapeake Bay at the exact time of spring's first full moon. The birds, having spent days in the air crossing the Caribbean, double their weight in a week and then head north. The other important aspect of horseshoe crabs is a protein in their blood that reacts to bacteria. Iron in human hemoglobin makes our blood red. Crab blood is blue due to the presence of copper. Labs collect this clumping blood from crabs and create sterility testing materials for use in healthcare. They are then returned to the sea. With the current COVID situation, the role of crabs becomes all the more significant. Since the passing of the Clean Water Act in the early 1970s, water in New York Harbor has become demonstrably cleaner. With the return of menhaden, or bunkerfish, larger life forms have returned to the harbor. Dolphins and seals are frequently seen. Whales breach off of great kills. There are lobster under the Verrazano Bridge, and river otter have been spotted on the island's west shore, after having been absent since trappers exploited them in colonial times. Here, before any of them, was the horseshoe crab. They are often seen littering the beach. But those helmets that you see at the water's edge are not all live or even dead critters. These are called molts. In the same way that a bird sheds its feathers each season, horseshoe crabs outgrow their rigid shells. They puff themselves up with water and split at a seam in the front of their prosoma. They slide out and form a new shell. They may molt up to 17 times over the course of their existence. In fact, multiple times before they're even hatched from their eggs. They're not really crabs at all. They're more closely related to spiders and other arachnids, more than crabs or lobsters. These critters have 10 eyes. There are 2 advanced eyes, compound eyes, at the top of their head, other simple light sensors around the rim, and another pair underneath. Horseshoe crabs sometimes lie on their back and pick food from above them from the passing current. This reveals the purpose of their tail. They use it to roll over. They also use it to right themselves when they're flipped over in the surf. Crabs eat small crustaceans, clams, and worms. Since they have no mandibles or teeth, they crush food with their claws before passing it to their mouth. Water washes over their book gills to supply them with oxygen. Females are larger than males. The only obvious difference is their first pair of arms. Males use these hooks to clamp onto the females as the ladies climb up past the high tide line. Multiple males may inseminate the eggs. I recommend the PBS video. It illustrates the extreme interconnectedness of life. Our environmental group, the Natural Resources Protective Association, was formed over 40 years ago to prevent the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers from using toxic dredged mud to create an artificial island in the middle of the lower bay. We've become advocates for the harbor and life in and around it, including us. We monitor shorefront development, pollution, and do cleanups at parks and beaches. The NRPA has provided a number of educational forums and includes an educational component of many of our events. We may demonstrate water quality testing, navigation skills, or local critters. We offer service credits for students. Find out more about us at www.nrpa.com. You'll find a calendar of activities and issues of our newsletter with interesting stories about our programs and nature on our website. The NRPA meets the first Tuesday of every month. We welcome scouts, community organizations, as well as teachers and students. You can contact me, Tony Rose, about our group, or coming to or Zooming with your students or your organization. My email is nobens@aol.com. If you contact me, I can email you this craft activity for your family or students. Here is a horseshoe crab that you can use to cut out and use for play, an art project, or perhaps a mobile, like this. I'll email you the template and you can enlarge it, shrink it, use paint or glitter. You're only limited by your imagination. I plan to use copper or brass sheets and make some for garden art. Here's how it works. Cut on the solid line, overlap to the dotted line, and staple. Voila, you have a horseshoe crab. I can email you a copy of an educational brochure about our harbor estuary. Teachers, I can send the PDF so you can make unlimited originals. Our cleanups are, at the very least, a good reason to get out and take a walk on the beach. Let's take some plastic out of the environment before it chokes a bird or kills a sea turtle. That's a real how-to. You can meet people who are concerned about the planet and have chosen to do something about it. We also work with groups like Protectors of the Pine Oak Woods, Kayak Staten Island, and the Staten Island Environmental Communicators. If you do photography or video or drone, or would like to, contact us through our website, www.siec.nyc. Our thanks to the Staten Island Museum for hosting this Earth Day event. Let's make every day Earth Day.